You know, I didn't even know about this article, but I was over on Nerdrotic's live stream for Friday Night Tights, which is a joint effort between myself and Gary for Geeks and Gamers. And I believe Odin brought this to my attention about this article that was written a couple of days ago, and they're already doing the built-in excuses. They're already setting up their excuses in the event that The Rise of Skywalker underperforms. So shout out to Gary from Nerdrotic. Go subscribe to Gary if you haven't yet. He's going to be passing 200,000 subs within the next probably month or two if he keeps up the pace. Gary is a fantastic YouTuber, and Odin's movie blog, a part of the Geeks and Gamers team. Both of those guys are part of the team, and go subscribe to both of them. All right, so here we have King Shill himself, Scott Mendelson. Box office, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker barely matters to Disney. Oh, look at there. Look at there. Suddenly we are downplaying the importance of Star Wars. How have we gotten to the point where we are downplaying the importance of Star Wars now? This is Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars where it doesn't even matter. This is the point that they have pushed it to with their identity politics nonsense and garbage. Unbelievable. Walt Disney's 2019 slate will be fine thanks to the Avengers Endgame, Frozen 2, and The Lion King. Even if The Rise of Skywalker stumbles, you hear that? Even if it stumbles, because we are building in excuses, ladies and gentlemen, but we're also going to play both sides. However, Star Wars will face the same post-Skywalker challenges going forward, even if Episode 9 is a massive global hit. That is called hedging your bets. That is called playing both sides of the argument. They are setting up to have their excuses built in because they know that this thing is not playing as strongly as it should. We are 1 week from the overseas debut of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. The domestic tracking is still projecting an over-under of 200 million domestic opening weekend, with the big question still being, will the slide from opening weekend straight into the holiday break give it noticeably better legs than The Last Jedi? And B, will audiences, especially overseas, give it a final bump that add to these end-of-the-line franchises these franchises often get? With Disney's overall 2019 releases, including the Fox flicks, now just over $12 billion, they were at $11.94 billion as of Sunday. The performance of the 9th Skywalker solo Star Wars episode is almost irrelevant. That sounds like something you would say if you were worried the movie was going to underperform. Unbelievable. But this is where we're at with Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars. And then we're getting into all this other stuff here. And again, this is all about just making excuses. I'm still thinking The Rise of Skywalker ends up somewhere between The Lion King and Avengers Endgame in North America, and somewhere between Frozen 2 and The Lion King worldwide. But either way, its performance will have little bearing on the overall success of 2019. Still ridiculously huge. And again, it could pull Force Awakens to solo numbers, and variables wouldn't change. So again, he's just making excuses. And of course, this call, I mean, from Forbes, this definitely was something that, you know, the big wigs at Disney were like, yo, hey, all right, look, we're not really loving the enthusiasm right now. Maybe the pre-ticket sales, we're not really getting a good gauge here. So we're going to need you to start putting out these little fillers that maybe we need to kind of check our expectations, because we need to be prepared to make excuses if this movie doesn't perform. Now, I'm not saying it won't perform. It will perform well. It's a Star Wars movie. It's going to perform well. You know, I don't think it's going to flop. I don't think that's even possible. My low end on this movie worldwide is $900 million. My high end is $1.4 billion. If I was a betting person, I would tell you don't bet on this thing doing below $1 billion. If I was a betting person, I would say go for the 1.4. I am a wishful person in this situation, and I want it to do below 1 billion. So we'll see how it ultimately falls. It will not lose money. It will not be solo. There's no doubt about that. But this is the problem right now. This should be in-game. This should be in-game. This is the close of the Skywalker saga, as they keep marketing, or whatever the hell they're calling it. And yet, here we are with enthusiasm probably as low as it's been in the Disney Star Wars era, which is unbelievable. This is unreal. Like, go to any department store. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Go to Walmart. Go to Target. Go to a toy store. I just learned that Toys R Us is still a thing in Canada. Shout out to Darth Barbie, Krista Noah for that. I just learned that Toys R Us is still available in Canada. Go into any of these places and look at the Star Wars section. It's not the same. The interest level is dead. These things are DOA. It's unreal. Now, I can't speak to how things are in Toys R Us in Canada, but in the United States, you go to any major store, and the Star Wars section is so small. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. The level of interest is not there anymore. Why? Because this entire franchise has been bogged down by identity politics and social justice nonsense. This is where we're at. And we're going to see more of these articles like this, giving excuses, building in excuses, trying to temper expectations, because they are trying to have both arguments. Before, all of the fanboys that have been complaining the last 2 years we were the smallest of minorities and we didn't speak for the fandom and yada, yada, yada. And you've seen it where Solo failed, Solo lost money, hashtag Solo lost money. You've seen it with the toy sales. You've seen it with the level of interest. The best thing that's happened to Star Wars under the Disney banner is Baby Yoda. That's literally the best thing that's ever happened. And they weren't even prepared for that because they have no plan. They weren't even prepared for Baby Yoda to be this phenomenon. And look now, they don't even know what to do. They have no merchandise available. But we can get some Rose Tico action figures, and we can get some Rey, and we can get some Poe. Yeah, we can get all these characters that we don't care about. But no Baby Yoda because they have no plan. They have no idea what they're doing. It's unbelievable. But they're going to continue to have the shill extraordinaires are going to be out there, and they're going to be putting out any built-in excuses they can because this is how the game is played. I don't really have a problem with how that game is played. I understand that this is part of the optics. This is part of the political maneuvering. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that for 2 years, the fans, like myself and others, have told you they're doing a shitty job of running Star Wars, and you've said you've dismissed us. And now, the closer we get to the Rise of Skywalker, it kind of looks like, oh man, maybe those guys weren't as crazy as we thought. Well, instead, you're just going to have built-in excuses. Just admit you screwed it up. Phantom Menace is looking great right now. And if the leaks are true, which they appear to be true, if the leaks are actually true, the Phantom Menace wins. Like, again, spoilers, potential spoilers right now. Potential spoilers right now. The leaks tell us. The leaks tell us. It's almost laughable to tell you. Here we go. The leaks tell us that there's a fight. I don't know how Kylo Ren ends up in a pit. He ends up in a pit. Rey kills Palpatine, but in the process of killing Palpatine, she kills herself. And then Kylo Ren, no longer Kylo anymore, he's Ben Swolo now, or Ben Solo, climbs out of the pit, sees that Rey is no longer alive, and it sounds bad, and I understand how it sounds, but this is how it's said in the leaks. But he drains his life force into her and revives her. I know how that sounds. And then it takes his life. And she leans over and kisses him before he dies. So beautiful. So beautiful. And then they go to Tatooine. And while on Tatooine, someone comes up to Rey and says, "You don't look familiar. Where are you from? Or who are you?" "Oh, my name is Rey Skywalker." And that's how it ends. If that's how this movie ends, oh my gosh. Literally everything that anyone in the Phantom Menace has said in the past 2 years has been 1,000% justified. 1,000%. Please let this happen. I want it to happen. I want to see Rey Skywalker. I want to see Rey Skywalker. I want to announce it to the world on Tatooine. Please let it happen. That's probably a terrible accent. I don't care, because it's going to be better than what they're going to give us in The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Solo lost money, and we will talk to you later. Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.